My recommendation is that you never, ever pay for YouTube coaching. I want to talk about that subject in depth today because I want to maybe expose a little bit of a pyramid scheme that I think is going on in the YouTube industrial coaching complex. About 1% of all YouTube content creators ever get monetized. That's right, 1%. If you just think about that for a second, it tells you how competitive this business is. It tells you how narrow the odds are of getting to that level. There has become this mindset that if you go on YouTube and you find a guru who can give you advice, whether they have a powerful Aussie accent, whether they wear funny glasses or different colored hair, or they just rant and ramble and give you the same rehashed garbage that has been going on for the past 3 to 4 years, you will somehow magically become monetized. It is a great dream. It is a wonderful thing to think about being monetized. You know, all of us would love to have that laptop lifestyle where we're just creators and we just post stuff on YouTube and we get paid for it. That's not how it works. What magic is a coaching class, individual, one-on-one, or masterclass? What is it going to give you that just magically transforms you into the 1% from the 99% who don't get monetized? You already know the answer to that. There's nothing. There is nothing that they can give you in these videos except an invoice for their services, except profitability for their marketing plan. That's what YouTube coaching is. It's a marketing plan. It's a sales funnel of frustrated, maybe ambitious, but sometimes desperate people who want to be successful on YouTube. It doesn't work that way, but I can just very simply give you the answer. And listen, I'm no genius. I can tell you exactly what you need on YouTube, even though so far I haven't been able to do this because it is complicated. YouTube is about making great content that people want to watch. You'll hear hours of details about titles and thumbnails and this study and this button to turn on and this button to turn off. It's all garbage. Sure, thumbnail might help you get that initial touch, that initial open, but if you make great, consistent content that informs or teaches or entertains, you're going to find an audience. That's what YouTube's entire process is about. And no, it isn't about the algorithm. The algorithm is a mathematical formula that has certain rules. That's all. Doesn't like you, doesn't dislike you. It's math. The industrial coaching complex on YouTube is a $1 billion business. And in my opinion, it is a complete waste of your money. And my recommendation again is don't ever pay for YouTube coaching from anyone. Now let's take a look at the YouTube guru process. Let's talk about how the gurus become gurus. It's a very complex, but a very systematic marketing plan. So let's look at the first step in the marketing plan, and it is the setup. Number one will be the setup that drives the entire thing. And number one is a part of the hook. It starts off with, I'm like you. I lost my job. I had health problems. There was some sort of crisis. I didn't have an option. I had to support my family. I had to make money. I had to do this. I had to do that. It makes that YouTube guru one of us. It humanizes them and it puts them in that plight that some of us find ourselves in. It draws the natural sympathy card or empathy card from most of us because we don't want to see anybody suffer. We don't want to see anyone in that stressful, painful place. It opens the door to follow. Number two is along this journey for most YouTube gurus, the sub counts go up, the viewer counts go up as that emotion-based opening or those things that they talk about begin to connect with people, and they continue to connect. And look, this is not one or two videos. It's a series, but it's a marketing plan-driven set of subjects in this. The third thing, it's a detailed description of the effort they put in. The guru now comes in and not only says, I had no choice. Now they tell you what they do. They have kids. They work on editing after they feed and put the kids to bed, or they help around the house with their wife or their husband. They give you a detailed breakout of how arduous the task is for them to get their videos up and how hard they work. And the line that always follows is, I have no choice. I can't not be successful. The fourth thing is sharing a personal tragedy. This is when the empathy card gets kicked up into an all new gear. There is something shattering or something very difficult that comes about, or something of failure. They've gone through depression or frustration over their own YouTube journey, and they just found the strength to dig in. They didn't have a choice. They had to dig in. Now you see, as this story is being crafted, the entire draw to people. It's pulling people closer. And again, I go back to it. It's the emotional side or the empathy side that binds you to this personality. The fifth step is the repeat of, I'm just like you. I have to work. I have to put in my effort. But again, it reinforces, I don't have a choice. My family is counting on me to bring in this extra income. I can't not be successful at YouTube. The picture is painted of this family absolutely counting on the YouTube income just to make ends meet. Number 6 is a coaching offer. This is when the hook 2 comes in. It's the offer of sharing that breakthrough and sharing how to be determined, how to be disciplined, how to arrange your schedule, how to do all the things that they have done because they're just like us. I am just like you is the basis of pulling you into that. Along with that, there are mail lists. There can be private lessons. There can be master classes. The offer comes through. Later on, there comes the introduction of proof sources. What are we talking about here? We're talking about coaching for coaches. We're talking about coaches coaching. We're not talking about making better content. We're not talking about learning really any of the skills. We're not really examining the content as it's put out. We're just talking about coaching. The 8th thing I have picked up in this marketing plan is a great one. It is how much YouTube paid me. That one is hook number 3. And hook number 3 begins to really try to pull you closer in. Look at the money YouTube paid me. But by the way, look at the income I had off private coaching lessons. And yes, I've increased my prices because I am worth that. Look at the income I made off of this other venture, whether it was a master class or an online class. It lays out the profitability. How do you verify it? How is it verifiable on YouTube? As we move to number 9, this is the part of the marketing plan that broke me down. This is the one that stopped me from listening. It made me step back and say, what are we doing here? Because all along, I haven't paid for any coaching, but I'm wanting this person to be successful. I'm sharing the ride. She's making money or he's making money. They're making money. What a great thing. Maybe I can do that. That's our mindset as we listen. But back to number 9. The subject matter in number 9 is spiritual leadership. Spiritual leadership? YouTube content creating? Divine purpose? There's a divine purpose for a person to be talking to me? I didn't understand that. Then the one that really set me back was they are a voice for the quiet ones. What does that mean? What does a voice for the quiet one mean? It means the quiet ones are typically the people who aren't going to complain if they really get scammed out of the money. If their coaching classes are a joke and they've wasted that money, they're probably not going to kick up much of a fuss. They're just going to go back to their quiet lives. It is not taking a quiet person and making them strong, because that's ridiculous. That is not how life or YouTube work, in my opinion. It also gives the presenter a great barrier to criticism. You're going to go criticize someone who is talking about spiritual leadership or divine things or helping quiet people? How do you do that? That's a cold thing to do. No, it's not. It is breaking through the marketing scam and exposing it. That's what I hope to do with this series of YouTube videos. Number 10 is really the final one in this review of the marketing plan. And it is the explanation of, I have raised my prices because I'm a leader, and you should raise your prices because you're a leader. So if you just take a step back, this is all a pyramid. This is all conversation about coaches coaching other coaches. A giant mentor coach helping other coaches that are helping coaches. What does that mean? What does that actually create? What does that actually do? The primary thing it does is it makes a great deal of profit for YouTube gurus who call themselves coaches. Now, they're not your friend, they're not your mentor, and they're not your teacher. The little bitty pieces of things they teach you, you can find in any video search on YouTube. You can go out and find these things for free. You don't need to pay anyone. There are no proof sources of these classes other than more videos and more how much I made videos. There's no proof that any of these gurus' advice worked in the private sector. If the success is only in the circle of coaching, that pyramid of coaching speak, then it's not proof. And it's also not really valid. It's just a part of that idea. When you have things that have been theorized and put into practice and they succeed, whether helping people or whether making money or creating businesses or rescuing businesses, those are things that are substantial. They can be measured. They can be looked at. The rest of it is just rehashed conversation. You know, it's like people now on the shorts are taking off on the guy who walks around the lake. You know, this guy walks around the lake and just talks. And he talks about things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's his shtick, and that's fine. That's what he does. He's got thousands of followers and thousands of views, and he makes money. So be it. It's an entrepreneurial world. Now there's more and more YouTube coaching gurus walking around almost like they're just in normal conversation or normal walks around their house or outside their house, delivering this wonderful and insightful information to you. It's junk. It's garbage. Write down the list of things you need to learn. Do you need to learn how to make a thumbnail? Do you need to improve on your titles? Keywords, whatever the myriad list of things that all these guys are telling you have to do or you will fail. Do your own research. But the real answer is back to our opening today. And what we said was, to be successful on YouTube, you have to make great content. To make great content, you have to be consistent typically, because you'll get better. You have to cover the basics of lighting, of your niche, of your voice, of your setting, those just basic things that you'll understand if you get any feedback or if you just go do some research on successful non-guru video presenter or content presenters. So to close out for today, let me talk about one other exchange I had in this past week. I watched a very well-known YouTube coaching guru's video. I wanted to see what the latest thing was. In the comment section, I added that today's YouTube is incredibly competitive. It's not 2019 anymore. It's not just about buzzwords or thumbnails or titles. It's about content more than ever. That's what I said. And then I said, there is no amount of coaching that can replace great content and a voice that informs people that people want to listen to. That was my comment. I felt like it was respectful. I didn't slam her. I just said what I thought based on watching the video. Almost immediately, I got a like back and a comment with that like, and it said, there has never been a more true statement said about YouTube than this, which I immediately gave a thumbs up and appreciated. Then the next day, this YouTube guru, the creator, also replied. And the reply was somewhat strange to me. It was a 100% icon with the word agree. 100% agree. So there's agreement on the fact that no coaching can do anything other than content. I don't know. That answer really confused me. I certainly didn't expect the creator to come back and argue. I don't think that helps anybody. It was very shocking, though, to me, because it basically acknowledged that nothing, even her own coaching and her own platform, replaces the simple fact that if you make good content, it is your best chance to be successful. So you already know my feelings on coaching. I think it's an absolute absurd waste of money. You can do your own research. You can build your own consistent, high quality content and succeed better and a whole lot cheaper than any coaching class, any master class, any seminar. Do it by being thoughtful, paying attention, and let your voice try to help people, teach them, or entertain them. That's the real secret to YouTube. Hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll try to come back in a couple of weeks and talk more about why you shouldn't pay YouTube guru coaches. Hopefully that is beginning to sink in, because it is really a waste of your time and your money. But until we get back together again, everybody take care. Hope you have a great week. We are out of here. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.